Hi, welcome back for another episode of Tim's Butterfly Vlog. I'm Tim, your host. How you guys doing today? Okay, so we have an interesting episode today. Today's episode is going to be on photographing butterflies. Okay, for some of you may know, I have a disability. I am hearing impaired and visually impaired. So you can imagine photographing butterflies is a big challenge for me. One of the biggest challenges is being able to just see the butterfly to find the butterfly. So like I have to walk around, get really close sometimes to plants and stuff. So sometimes it could take a while to get a good picture. So I'm a pretty patient guy when it comes to butterflies, I think. So let's get started on this episode, okay? Okay, so the first tip that I have is to zoom in close for details. Butterflies are really small, so you want to try and get in close with a butterfly. A good lens is a macro lens to use, or a zoom lens with a macro mode on it. You want to try getting close, but not too close, so you're disturbing the butterfly. They'll get startled and take off. So if you're taking pics outside, good lens to start with. It might be like 100 millimeter lens to use outside. You want to get in close, try to blur out the background if you can. Maybe try starting out with 2.8 to 5.6 so you can get some detail on the wings and stuff. So my first tip is going to be zoom in close. Okay, my second tip for taking pics of butterflies is going to be take creative pictures. When you want to try you take a creative picture of a butterfly, it could be a challenge because they're flying all over the place, and they're not really cooperating sometimes, or it could be a windy day or whatnot. Um, but you want to try to use your creative side of your brain when you're taking a picture of a butterfly. Sometimes you might be in a location, like say like maybe the Peggy Noper Museum, where they have a butterfly haven, or you might be on a butterfly farm or whatever. Maybe there's a lot of kids around. Sometimes butterflies are attracted to kids, even though they're noisy. But I've learned by experience. You'll see once in a while a kid will be holding a butterfly, or butterflies on their hand, or you'll see expression of a kid holding the butterfly. Butterfly might be on someone's shoulder, or butterfly might be hanging upside down. You'll be able to get a good shot. So take a creative picture. That's my second tip. So the next tip, it's kind of a challenging one for me sometimes. It's the super macro shot. Trying to get in where you're really close up. I'm still working on that. But a super macro shot, you can use like a lens, the 50 to 100 millimeter on the manual. If you're shooting sometimes in autofocus, it's not really good enough where it might make too much noise or something and startle the butterfly. A good idea is to turn off the beep on your camera as well. It beeps sometimes for autofocus. So if you're try to manual instead. Get a tripod. Try to wait for the butterfly to land, and zoom in and get your extreme macro shot. if you have one also. You could try using a ring flash to get more like shadowless finish to your picture. So try that as well for this tip. So my next tip is going to be about trying to shoot butterflies in action. Butterflies gonna land around a lot, fly around a lot. But if you're in the garden, like me, you come to know particular flowers that a certain butterfly might like. So you might be able to narrow that down, do your research, be real attentive to watch what kind of butterflies their flowers that they're flying on. You can set up your camera then in that area. Try to look around. Focus in on those area of the flowers. Get your tripod out. Again, shoot. 2.8, 5.6. Shoot with a higher shutter speed. Maybe like 1600 a second. Try that maybe. And then try to get you some action shots flying around. So, like when you're shooting in action, a lot of new cameras they have like what's called a continuous mode. I suggest try using that. On continuous mode, you keep shooting shot after shot after shot. So, like when they're in action, flying around a butterfly, it's trying to walking around different area of a butterfly. He's sucking on some nectar and stuff. He might not fly away, but he might be moving around a lot. So try using a continuous mode for your shooting in action. Okay, so my next tip is to try to get butterflies in flight. So, like butterflies that are insects and animals are sometimes hard to predict, what they're going to do. With butterflies, sometimes you get to know their flowers and stuff, and they may be flying around up high or something. So, one tip is to try to get as low as you can to the ground or the flower and get your camera pointed upwards. So you're making a composition with a butterfly high up in the air above the flower. You're looking up at it. Use like again you might try shutter priority mode with a faster shutter speed, 100 maybe like 2/50th of a second or faster. Again, you don't want to catch them in flight. Practice learning where they're going to be flying around. This can be kind of hard to do, but you work on that. What helps, Mike, is pre-focus on the area. You'll try to predict where the butterfly is going to be in flight. If you can, try using the continuous mode again so you can take more pictures in a row on your camera. Okay, this next tip is kind of different. Sometimes you could take a picture of a butterfly indoors. Besides like a butterfly haven, you might be able to catch a live butterfly. I haven't done this yet. I have a hard enough time just finding the butterfly with my eyes. But if you're good with better eyes than me, you might be able to do this. So you get your butterfly, you want to have a nice white card, a white background, and a box. You can get the butterfly in, get some nice lights to use. You try 5.6 on your f-stop, or if you want to get everything in focus, you can go up to higher, one like f32 or something like that, or 22 on your camera, depending on what kind of lens you have. So that's a good technique. I haven't done any box photography with white cards with butterflies yet. I'd like to try that, but you can get some nice detail, and then you have a white background. It's pretty crisp in your image. Okay, so let's talk a lot about recommended settings. When you're photographing butterflies, they fly around really quick, so you want to have a pretty good lens that can focus quickly. Um, you on a macro lens, you gotta choose. You can use macro mode versus sports mode. So you can't use one or two. So I'll try maybe the sports mode. It'll give you faster, choice of how to control the capturing the butterfly. Okay, so a little bit about equipment. I struggled with this, but most people will recommend using a tripod. I have a hard enough time finding the butterflies with my eyes, as bad as they are. So, but that's one of the equipment that suggested maybe getting a tripod or a monopod. Um, get like a zoom lens or a lens that has zoom capacity with me, maybe a macro setting on the lens. You can also just try using a macro lens if you want to do a lot of closer shots. Um, if you want to go a more inexpensive way, there are what they call macro tubes. You can buy, attach them to lens that you have already, so you can add some macro capacity to your lens that you have. Uh, get out there, take the pics. A lot of times you'll be outdoors when photographing butterflies. Uh, so you can use the tripod if you're setting up in a certain area where there's not a lot of people to bother you, or there's not wind or anything like that. You know the area pretty well. You know the butterflies are flying around in specific areas, where flowers are and stuff. The tripod might work out. Haven't gotten a lot of situations when they've been able to do that yet. But that's some of my recommended equipment. So, in conclusion, I'm going to say the biggest thing I guess I found in photographing butterflies in nature and landscape photography for me is patience. You got to have a lot of patience when you're photographing butterflies, especially, or even birds. Sometimes you may have to sit for hours in for a long time in an area. You may have to go where you don't really want to go to capture the butterflies. It might be a difficult area to get to, or you might have to go through a bunch of mud or whatnot to find the area you want to photograph, and have your camera ready, your equipment, and everything you need. It takes a lot of patience to photograph a butterfly. Sometimes you might be lucky if you don't have your camera and stuff with you. A lot of the new iPhones and phones that are out there have these new close up and zoom capacities now on their lenses on the camera on the phone itself. So you might have to use that. If you're pretty patient with your phone, you can get some cool results as well. So have fun when you're photographing butterflies. If you work at it, you'll eventually get some pics you're proud of. I'm going to show you a couple, some pics of mine here in the end. So I try my best. Again, with the disability I have, my eyes, I'm working on it. So see you later. Enjoy some of my pics. See you next time. Bye. Okay, so that's the end of this episode. I'll see you next time in Tim's Butterfly Vlog. Bye!